Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Recently there's been a lot of talk on superstars. What's the criteria for a superstar? How many superstars are there? And obviously, who are they? Jayson Tatum was on a show with Rooks the other day, and it sparked a lot of conversation about superstardom. Jayson Tatum said he feels like he's the poster boy for is he a superstar yet? And I would agree, and I think a lot of people would agree that Jayson Tatum is a player that's right on the cusp of superstardom yet, but not quite. And we've been waiting like, okay, when is he a superstar now? Not yet, not yet, and then obviously after this past finals, not yet, still. Then Jayson Tatum asked how many superstars are there, because some people have a long list of superstars and for other people it's a very short list. Rooks said she thinks there's only 6 superstars in the league, and I would agree. Some people throw around superstar way too much. Superstar is the top of the top. I think there's 6 to 9 players that are superstars at max. Jayson Tatum seemed to disagree. He said there's like 12 or 14, but I'm with Taylor. I think 6, and maybe you can make an argument for 3 more after that, but 6 to 8, probably 9 maybe. Certainly not 12 or 15 like some people say though, in my opinion. But here is where I start disagreeing with Rooks, because after she tells Jayson there's only 6 superstars, he disagrees, and so he's just like, okay, well, who's a superstar then? Is Kyrie a superstar? And Rooks says yes. Jayson Tatum agrees that Kyrie is a superstar. He then asks, is Damian Lillard a superstar? And Rooks says no. Jayson Tatum disagrees and believes Damian Lillard is a superstar because his list is much longer. Taylor's reasoning for why Kyrie is a superstar and Dame is not, she said that Dame has all the superstar qualities, but he's got to get there and win a championship. That's what she says. He's got to win. Taylor and Jayson did talk about how everyone's criteria is different, and so obviously that plays into everything. But here's my criteria. To be a superstar in the NBA, you have to have at least 2 to 3 MVP caliber regular seasons plus 2 to 3 MVP caliber playoff runs. And you have to have a deep playoff run in there too, at least 1 conference finals. That's my criteria. And so my 7 undisputed superstars I just counted are LeBron, Curry, KD, Giannis, Kawhi when healthy, Luka, and Jokic. Those are my 5 100% undisputed superstars, and then 2 more that maybe you can make a little argument if you're being really picky, but they're superstars. The first 5, there's absolutely no debate. Obviously, Kawhi, when he's healthy, going off the last time he was healthy, assuming he comes back like that, he's a superstar. Then my next 2, Luka and Jokic, they are superstars if you ask me. They're not champions like the first 5, but a championship is not a requirement to be a superstar. It makes it pretty much undisputed, but it's not a requirement. The requirements are 2 to 3 MVP caliber regular seasons and 2 to 3 MVP caliber playoff runs plus a deep playoff run. Jokic is a back-to-back 2-time MVP, so that is checked off, and then in the playoffs, he has had multiple MVP caliber playoff runs. Jokic has the regular season MVPs literally and the playoff MVP level performances plus the conference finals. He is a superstar. Now for Luka Doncic, he has had 3 MVP caliber regular seasons so far in his career and 3 MVP caliber playoff runs in his career, undisputedly. And this past year, he just made the conference final, so he meets the criteria. If the Mavs lost in the first round again this year, even if Luka put up the same numbers, I wouldn't have said he's a superstar. I would have still said he's a star because he hasn't won a playoff series yet. But this year, went and made the conference final, so he meets the criteria. Those are my undisputed top 7 superstars right now. And if I had to add one more, I think I would go with Damian Lillard because he's had 2 MVP caliber regular seasons, but playoffs is where you can make the argument. I would argue 2021, that was MVP caliber. They lost 6 games in the first round, but that was MVP caliber performance. 2019, he also had an MVP caliber performance. In the first round, played star level at the highest for the next 2 rounds, but still made the conference final. And even though the playoffs is where the argument does get weak, I'd still argue that in Dame's situation, that should be taken into account. And so if I had to argue Dame is a superstar, then I would, but compared to the other 7, obviously it's not nearly as close. However, Kyrie, that shouldn't even be a conversation. Just because he has a ring, Kyrie should not be in the superstar conversation. 1, Kyrie Irving has never had an MVP caliber regular season. completely. He hasn't played well enough, but also obviously he hasn't played enough games. And so he has not had an MVP caliber regular season, if you ask me. On paper, you could argue the past 2 seasons, but once again, games played. And so at the max 1, but still doesn't cut it. Now playoffs, he has had 2 MVP caliber playoff runs, I'd say, 16 and 17. But y'all, since then, Kyrie Irving has not been very good in the playoffs. 2019, he was trash. 2020, he didn't play. 2021, he got injured. And 2022, he was trash again, outside of 1 game. But y'all, the biggest reason Kyrie shouldn't even be in the conversation, y'all, is that Kyrie is at his best as a second option. You cannot be a superstar as a second option unless this is a KD Steph situation or LeBron AD situation. Like, for example, if you want to argue in the 2016 finals alone, Kyrie Irving was a superstar, sure, I'll give you that. But in total, Kyrie Irving's best performances as a star was still as a second option. And so he cannot be a superstar as a second option. When Kyrie was the first option, 2018, when he was healthy, he played high-level star, not MVP level though. And then obviously playoffs came around, he got injured, the Celtics still made the conference finals. 2019, as the main guy again, regular season, high-level star, not MVP though. And then in the playoffs, he was pure trash. And the past 2 seasons now, he's been a second option. He's been a really good second option when he plays, but he's a second option. And so Kyrie can't be a superstar for that reason, if you ask me. And for Jayson Tatum, once again, he is as close as you could get, but he's not quite there yet. Jayson Tatum, he's never had an MVP caliber regular season. His whole superstar argument is playoffs, which is fine if it's good enough, but it hasn't quite been good enough. If Tatum won Finals MVP this year, then he's a superstar, but we all know what happened. But yeah, y'all, that's my take on this star-superstar convo. I think there are 7 undisputed superstars in this league. If you really want to argue Lillard or Tatum, I'm not going to get mad at you, but I'm going to disagree. And in terms of Kyrie being a superstar, he's not even in the conversation because he's a second option. And it's not a 1A, 1B thing like Steph or KD or LeBron or AD or LeBron or Kyrie in the 2016 finals. It's a clear KD is 1, Kyrie is 2. There's a pretty noticeable gap. But yeah, tell me what y'all think about this conversation. Is Jayson Tatum a superstar? Kyrie a superstar? Lillard a superstar? How many superstars are in the league? Because a lot of people seem to have very different numbers. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this. Check out my other videos, and I'll see y'all later.